Hello, I'm Karen Larson with some of the top stories from 2 Works for You. Medical experts fear that hospitals in the state could soon reach their breaking point. They're calling on Oklahomans to be part of the solution to help prevent that from happening. Nearly 24 states are reporting their worst weeks ever for new coronavirus cases since October 31st. St. Francis Health System in Tulsa warned just last week the current hospitalization rate is not sustainable and the doctors and nurses are exhausted. Hillcrest Medical Center has also seen an increase in patients being treated for COVID-19. They're now between 90 to 95% capacity for both COVID and non-COVID patients. Medical experts fear staff and resources may be scarce as we approach flu season.
Unless something happens with the disease itself in the community, that we will reach a point where we are overwhelmed and we either won't have beds or we won't have doctors or we won't have nurses to take care of patients.
Dr. Mantor also said that voters going to the polls Tuesday without wearing masks could result in a new spike in cases. A woman arrested accused of leading several law enforcement agencies on a police chase. Authorities say that Carrie Ortberg stole a landscaping truck, then drove it through Tulsa for almost an hour with police following closely behind. Officers say Ortberg drove the truck on flat tires before finally bringing it to a stop. Fortunately, no one ended up hurt. Wednesday was a big day for Muskogee Public Schools, the topping out ceremony for Tony Getz Elementary. Superintendent Jared Mendenhall says the school was built back in 1948, needed some work. It will become the first new school in the area since the 1980s. The project is part of the $110 million bond that voters approved in October of 2019. Turning now to our weather forecast, beautiful for the next few days all the way through the weekend before we see a cool down in the middle of next week. And that's a look at some of the stories making headlines. Stay with 2 Works for You for updates.